we got to get to the final here. This is what we've all been waiting for because win, lose, or draw, this bullshit is over.
So here we go. Sting versus the Black Scorpion. Dick
Here we
the
go.
Bruiser is the referee. The
Is he in
crowd
there?
is what?
Is that him? Is that
No,
Dick the Bruiser?
no, we're
Is
gonna
it
call him
refereeing?
down.
No, not yet. Uh, the crowd is chanting Bruiser because Dick the Bruiser. The NWA World Title is up for grabs. It's title versus the Mask. The Black Scorpions, I want to say. I said plural, start coming out. Now, this is after
Hold
Dick the
on,
Bruiser.
Oh boy.
he's
What, Doc?
61.
Okay.
He's not wearing ref gear, and he'll be dead in less than a year.
That
He's
sucks.
he's got damn, I didn't realize that.
He
He's
looks like a
actually got
cartoon character.
he does. Hey Hopper. He's got big stripes going across like remember Saeed was the Hamburger at X-rated that year?
Yeah.
But he had the skinny stripes. Freaking Saeed. Stripes going across instead down. Hamburglar. Okay. Bruiser's in the ring. He's going to ref the match. And here we go. The Black Scorpions, plural, start coming out. 4 or so head to the ring.
Oh,
I have a question
God.
for you.
Do I need to play the audio from this?
No, is the third one Rocco Rock?
Okay. So I'm trying to figure out who the first one was. But I don't know.
Let's see. Who
I
is
can't tell
that?
who that is.
One of them's Dave Sheldon.
That's not him. That guy's too old.
No, that's not him. It's the next one that I was wondering if that's Rocco Rock.
Let me see. Well, that was the first one. You said the third one
Okay,
was Rocco
the
Rock.
third one. I'm sorry, I looked down.
Okay, so this is the second one. I don't know who the second one is.
That's like fucking Tim Horner or some shit.
That ain't Tim Horner walking.
But is this Rocco Rock?
I think you might be onto something.
Which one? This one here?
No, the one that just passed the camera.
And that
Him right here. I think that is him, Doc. That's a good call. I think that is him. Now,
Okay.
who does that one look like?
Dave Sheldon.
You think that's Dave Sheldon?
We'll find out at the end.
Okay. All right. So these are the Black Scorpions.
Oh,
They all
God.
come to the ring, so they kind of, like, oh, well, where is he? And then we get the freaking theater dramatic bullcrap. Some
This is
contraption
stupid.
floors from the ceiling and closes as it lands.
But it's
Where is he?
Well, just wait. It's got to lower first, Hopper.
Oh my God! It's like a flying saucer.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a lotus flower fucking shit.
He's like fucking Tommy Lee when he would like play the drums up in the air and the cage would start spinning.
I just wish that shit would start spinning in the summer here in Texas. That shit would cool us off, Mike.
Boy, no kidding, Jack.
How much money did they spend on this shit?
Let me correct that for you. How much money did they waste on this shit?
That is a great question. A way to phrase it.
God, it's like Michael Jackson's about to come out or something.
This shit, it must be great to be a fucking tax write-off where they don't care. I mean, this was funny money Turner accounting bullshit. They didn't care. I mean, if WCW fell face first into a pile of money, which eventually happened, then okay. They give a shit.
That's the thing about it. Everybody used to always talk about, well, what happens if Magnum doesn't get injured? Does WCW,
They
does
got caught in
NWA
the
make
corporate
it?
accounting web, and they
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean that wouldn't have saved it.
no,
Well, no,
The
that-
one
well-
thing- that wouldn't have saved it if fucking Tully came with Arn. That wouldn't have saved it either.
Well, let me make it even clearer. What I was about to say was, look, I don't care if Magnum doesn't get in a car accident. I don't care if Tully comes back. I don't care if everything's peachy. The fact is, they made it without them into the Monday Night Wars, and then we're a money printing factory for a short time period, and then they blew it. So like they not only did great at one point after all of those things, they freaking were like top earner for Turner until the bottom fell out. So like you can't say, oh, would they have made it? They did make it. They made it beyond those guys. And then it fell out.
I think we had this conversation off the air. That's where Tony Khan has the win. Is he has enough money to get him on another network if the network goes kaput.
I mean, yeah,
anyway,
you don't want that to happen, but
let's see.
Okay, so here it goes. The UFO, I'm calling it that. I know it's not that. Drops in. All of a sudden, we see a gentleman or someone with a silver cape.
So I have an idea. Let's take the greatest wrestler of our generation and do this to him.
Of course.
It's like a movie. It's like Hollywood movie bullshit of wrestling.
A voice starts playing at one of these points and says, the other four were not the Black Scorpion. I am the real Black Scorpion. Or some shit like that. I don't remember the exact word. And then he walks to the ring. Who is it, Harper?
Let's see.
Have you seen this before, Harper?
Yeah, I know who it is, bro.
Okay.
Look, unknown.
I remember seeing this when I was a kid. Like, wait, I know who that is.
So, I'm going to fast forward a little bit after he gets into the ring. And
so, the first thing I want to say here at the beginning is that the cage they use does not no cage shoots well from the outside, but this one looks extra shiny and it's a disaster from the out. Look at that thing. It's glowing.
What you're saying is it didn't need to be so shiny. It needed to be the old dingy gray.
Maybe, which it is. The point is they try to start the match from outside and they have to quickly pivot because right here you can't see shit.
Yeah.
It's bad when they pan out. It's really bad. It is really bad.
Imagine right now, bruisers looking at Rick going, brother, who'd you piss off to do this?
So, I don't have the exact timestamp, but
so here's my question.
Yeah, dude, this looks like shit, bro.
Look at that. It's too shiny.
Yeah.
Now, here's my other question. When you're Ric Flair, how hard is it to not be Ric Flair here?
Right.
Very hard, because your mannerisms are your mannerisms.
That's right. You are who you are, and we've said this. Nobody is their character more than Rick.
and the thing is, it'd be different if you're playing a character on a television show where they can cut and you could do certain things in the moment, and then they can cut. That's different, but you're in front of a live crowd, so your mannerisms are eventually going to show. And about 2:29 mark or so, you start. There's a loud chant of Nature Boy,
bruh. So
they were chanting Nature Boy.
I saw the cameraman sitting on top of the cage. He sits up there for the whole fucking match.
I think one of them does. I'm gonna play the audio. I think their Nature Boy chants are like right around here, maybe in the next 30 seconds. So bear with me. Let's see.
Scorpion trying to pick him up, and he does. Nice belly-to-back suplex. Obviously, Scorpion has got some wrestling skills. He's a little bit lost on those ropes, though, however. Great camera shot looking right down in the ring. Our cameraman sitting right on top of the cage.
Yeah.
You heard it. Nature Boy. Nature Boy. Now, give Rick credit. Because when he does that elbow drop, like he's trying to make it look like not
right
him.
Right there, that falling against the ropes and that kind of thing. The setup for the elbow too. He's trying his damnedest to pull this off. Like my whole question setting up on how hard is it for him to not be him after his experience and his time in the ring in the past 10 years is he almost damn deserves a Rolex for this, for trying to not be the greatest wrestler of all time.
Yeah, he's almost got to dummy it down where he looks like crap.
Yeah.
That's
that you
why I
won't know
drink
it's him.
every day, bruh.
Sure. Like even in the beginning when he was jumping up and down in the ring, like
Right.
he's trying to do stuff to throw people off. But they know. They can see it's him.
And I mean, here's a guy who for 350 nights a year was in the ring doing one thing the same way. I mean, go to work.
Yeah.
It's almost like going to work tomorrow at your desk and doing the whole day with your left hand guiding the mouse instead of your right hand or your dominant hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not gonna go far. Won't be a good day. Put it like that.
And oh, by the way, as much as I'm not a fan, this whole scenario does Sting 0 favors.
It doesn't help him one bit. It's
Because when Rick is Rick, he can guide him through a match, the charisma, he can make it, he can fill in the holes. Now Sting's in there with a masked man from head to toe and Dick the Bruiser in a cage in St. Louis. That can't work well for Sting. And it's not that Sting was awful here at all. It's just not putting him at this point in his career in a good spot. So you're going to stick the rocket shit to him, but what does that mean?
we've had the discussion. They didn't look. They did him no favors. Even if he's not ready, like Doc believes, they did him no favors.
Yeah,
None.
They did no one any favors in this.
None.
Well, okay, so that's an interesting point, Harper, because my last note on this is everyone involved is worse off for this.
Right.
Everyone. That was my note.
I got a side note. Just how you said Dick the Bruiser died like 6 months later.
Within a year, he had like a internal bleeding from some event. I looked it up, but I can't remember.
He had he was during the match or something.
No. He was retired by this point.
How old is he, Doc? Did you say
61?
61? Jesus Christ, that's not that old.
No.
61?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ain't old, bro. I can see that. Like, I'm not too far from that.
I'm scared.
You should be.
Dude, it's getting. We're getting closer and closer to the age that Ron Wright was at the beginning of Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
I need you to shut your fucking mouth. How about that?
That's
because I'm
weird.
I'm the lead dog in this pack on that regard, and I just had a birthday, and I don't like it. This ain't cool. Let's talk about Sting being the champ or Dick the Bruiser or Black Scorpion, because I'm tired of talking about how close we are getting to the end.
Okay, well, we won't talk about how close we're getting to the end, even though we're getting closer and closer to the end every day. I mean, that's just a
look at Bill after
life.
running around the outside there.
But I got to tell you something. So we hadn't talked about this much, but I believe as of us recording this, next week is our birthday. Like,
oh shit! Let's get strippers.
Do we get a cake?
We
don't need a cake because then we'll all end up in the cake. But if we get a stripper, then we all end up in the stripper.
We get 7 years.
How many podcasts last 7 years? There's a lot of podcasts out there. How many last?
How many last 7 months?
What do you think is the longest running podcast?
Us.
The longest running is subjective, but
you think
it's probably. It's probably. Oh, okay? Hold on. Are we talking wrestling podcast?
No, it's just that wrestling and just in general.
I don't know. I think wrestling wise, it may be someone like Wade Keller.
Because I used to listen to those ones on Podcast One back in the day, and I didn't think is that still a thing?
Who cares?
I don't know. Doc is salty.
Look,
I don't know. I don't know if they are.
Let me be real clear. I want us to all get it all out, but I got 18 minutes till Game 5 of the Mavericks.
Oh yeah, it's tied, bro.
And I want to do right by our listeners, but I also want to do right by myself. And here's the thing. This is god awful.
Yeah, it's just retarded. Whoops.
And it doesn't. And
stupid.
I want to be real clear.
Whoops.
This isn't Sting's fault.
No, this is no one's fault except the people who thought this shit up.
Like,
Bro, how
feel bad.
stupid is that look? You just see his legs hanging there.
I feel bad for Sting.
He's the Harper's
that's
talking
how
about the
bad.
cameraman.
Go back. All I see is this guy's fucking New Balance and his fucking jeans with his red knee pads on, just sitting there.
I don't even like the football now where they shoot above the huddle because it's disorienting to me.
I hate
with
that.
With the drones.
I hate when they do the freaking shot from behind the play, like from behind the quarterback. Dude, if I wanted to play Madden, I'd play Madden. Do not show it to me like that.
If you stream in the NBA off ESPN, there's views that you can get from above the basket like that.
No thanks. Hard pass, Bubba.
It is beyond ridiculous.
Oh, they got like a GoPro camera up there or something?
Yeah, where you're watching the play from above, and it's ridiculous. Like, I played basketball, and I understand what I'm seeing, but I don't like looking at it. Look at Bruiser now. He's going to get involved and pull these legs off these ropes.
He's been pulling them off, and it's just...
Yeah, that's how he's laying down the law.
Mm-hmm.
How many beers do you think the Bruiser drank that night in St. Louis? Telling the young guys about the old days.
I remember the old days when Indianapolis and...
All right, can we get to the end of this? Come on.
Yeah, I'm about to. Anything else? Because it drags on for a while.
Yeah, it drags on, and it's not going anywhere. It's a bridge to nowhere.
Look at this asshole.
Until it's not.
Oh wait, he's got a different mask on now. What the fuck?
Yeah, he got his mask ripped off.
So he's got a backup mask on.
Sting.
So now we're gonna put Rick out there in 2 masks.
Sting. Okay, hold on. Sting ripped off the mask, but again, there's a silver one underneath it. JR says, "This guy looks more familiar now that the black mask is off." So then, the Black Scorpion ends up being busted open, and Paulie says, "The mask is ripped. He's bleeding through the mask," and you can see it when they eventually zoom in. He's got blood coming through the mask, big old blood splotch. I think it happens like right there. Sting is gonna hit the Black Scorpion with a move off the top rope. Dick the Bruiser takes forever to count. Oh my God, I don't know what he was doing. He's an older gentleman, so I'm trying not to make fun of him, but I think it's like right around here. Let's see. Yeah. You can see the blood on the mask.
1, 2, 3.
Dude, you could have counted
Not
it
any
10.
better or worse than Kaninsky in '83.
So, Sting won right there. That was the finish off the top rope.
Now a bunch of shit happens, and JR gets legit hot and says, "I don't know how much time we have left."
So, the rest of the...
Because he knows that they're about to go off the air and they haven't done the big reveal.
All right. I'm going to play the audio for me. Here it is. The everything that goes down.
The winner and still World Heavyweight Champion.
Here come the other Scorpions. Sting and Dick the Bruiser fighting off the other Scorpions.
This is crazy.
The other Scorpions hit the ring.
Now would be the time for the real
They're
Scorpion.
taking masks off right and left. Dick the Bruiser and the Stinger.
The Scorpion's going to escape. The Scorpion is going to escape.
The Scorpion's got to take that mask off, but he's trying to escape. He's trying to crawl over the top. We got about 2 minutes left. The Scorpion trying to crawl out.
He needs to get out.
Arn Anderson just nailed Dick the Bruiser from behind with a steel chair.
Nobody can get him.
Wyndham and Anderson are here to take over on Sting.
This can save him
The
now.
Scorpion is on top of Sting, nailing him. The champion has been battered, but he beat the Black Scorpion. Here come the Steiners. They got some bolt cutters or something.
They better have some CPR skills. I think it's over for Sting.
Sting back to his feet. Grabbing the mask. Trying to pull it off. And here it comes. Here comes the mask.
Who is it?
It's got blonde hair.
But it's not long hair. Who is it?
We got 30 seconds. It's Ric Flair. The Black Scorpion is Ric Flair.
It's Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Sting won the title. He's retained the title. The Black Scorpion was Nature Boy Ric Flair.
That was a popcorn fart. Doc, thoughts?
I don't know what to say.
They were cutting it close on the time.
Yeah, they and Ross is trying to talk him through it in whatever, but okay, so legitimate question here. Is doing this to Ric Flair the biggest crime in wrestling history?
Nah, it's probably worse stuff.
I mean, Arquette getting the title could be one, but
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff. I mean, the WCW is just some dumb stuff in the
okay.
late 90s.
Had there ever been anything in the NWA leading up to this that was worse?
Oh.
Really worse at that level? At the
No.
main event level?
Okay, the key is at the main event level, probably.
Right, main event, because
you could talk about Rocky, little Richard Marley, or that's
Norman,
how it is when
Ninja
somebody
Turtle
tries
Norman.
to buy you. But we're talking about the prestigious name on the marquee main event level being this bad.
Mm-hmm. Pretty damn bad.
Harper?
Yeah, this is bad, bro. Ric Flair.
There's a lot of talent involved with this that it's got to be thinking this is shameful.
Yeah.
And you brought Terry Taylor out. You got Ricky Morton out there. You got
Z-Man.
Well, no, Arn and Barry. I mean, what are we doing?
I didn't pick up on JR being like super duper hot.
It was before you played it. He goes, "Yeah, I'd really like to know how much time we have."
That's him
and
yelling.
It was right before you played it because things were not hitting the mark.
He was saying that because he wanted somebody in his ear telling him how much time was left.
That's exactly right. Exactly the note I had is he's trying to find out how, like, are we about to run out of time here? Because he's trying to cover it. Because at that point, in 1990, this was an imprecise science, and they were about to go off the air without giving the big reveal.
Even when they did the reveal, it was like
there was nothing there,
fart.
But I mean, at least JR had come to do the job he was assigned to do.
Oh yeah, you can't blame him. Well, that's as Harper.
The good news is this shit's over.
Yeah. Oh boy.
The bad news is we'll talk about that on the next Saturday night if there is bad news.
As I tell my 10-year-old, don't tell me things can't get worse.
No, things can definitely get worse.
They can always get worse.
Yeah,
they can always get worse.
Until you're dead, they can always get worse.
Right.
They can always get worse, bro. Always.
Now, this is a complicated event.
Are you talking about to rate?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you're running short on time. How are you going to rate it and hand out?
Okay,
Rolexes?
so you said this to me earlier last week today in a private conversation. You thought this was better than 89 Starrcade.
Yeah, I mean 89 Starrcade was ridiculous. It was just
in terms of like match quality, it may not be, but in terms of overall the delivery and like not killing Muda and Doom and things like that, I definitely do agree. we said this last week. 14 matches is a lot to try to pull off in a night. I also don't like the fact that Pillman and Southern Boys couldn't find their way onto the card. The tournament sounds great when we're drawing it up in the boardroom. It's really tough in execution, especially when you're going to bring in people that don't know that this is a work.
Yeah.
In the Russians, we're lucky they didn't like shoot and try to like win the tournament. You know, that could have been a real problem. The two matches, the third and fourth to the end matches were phenomenal. With Luger and Hansen, and then Doom and the Horsemen. I love substituting Barry in there. I think it makes perfect sense, and that match was the best match on the whole card. I thought Chris Adams and Norman Smiley against the Mexican team of Mysterio and Conan was really good. I wish that it had more time. Bobby Eaton was great.
That was the opening match. Fantastic.
Opening
Good
match
stuff.
a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. So what do you?
There's a real cloud at the end that there's a real stain on this. I mean, like you can overlook some of those tournament matches and like that's the fucking cost of doing business. But at the end, as Harper said, and I had the note, when your world championship match happened, everybody involved came out looking worse.
Yeah.
And that's a problem that has to be addressed. And the real question in the grade becomes, are we grading the talent? Or are we grading the booking? And that's real hard to differentiate.
My thing is, why would Ric Flair do this? Like the psychology wise.
Because at the end of the day, for everything that we talk about Rick today, or as a husband, or as a money manager, for all accounts at this time, Rick was pretty much a team player.
Yeah, I mean Rick has said it a number of times, man. He might look. He's got a lot of faults, lots. But man, I mean, I've heard him he went along with a lot of stuff too.
He didn't. But it's also the same kind of thing Arn said. I didn't know you could say no.
Yeah.
I mean, they were raised in a different era. This is we nitpick this because we analyze it. But at the end of the day, with a gut, I don't know what anybody else is going to say. This is my own grade for the 2 weeks in a row, one show. I feel like I'm going to be generous in light of what I just saw at the end. I'm going to say, God, I'm still conflicted. I'm going to say C+.
Oh.
I won't be that hard. I give it B-.
Okay, I said I was thinking
Right.
B-.
I'm gonna give it a B.
I had a B-, but I'm gonna go back to B- because it really was watching that the last match at the end really pissed me off again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll say B-.
It's just ridiculous that finish is.
You have the greatest wrestler of all time who's willing to work with the green guy who I don't like, but he does, and is willing to put him over, and this is what we're going to do to get him over. Come on.
Yeah, this is stupid.
The worst part about it, the worst part about the whole Black Scorpion thing is, again, I'm going to give it B-, and Doc, I know you got to get ready to run. Let me get this out here.
You were fine.
Remember, Sting beat Flair for the belt. So
why not have him beat him again?
So instead of just going along, and this is 1990, you could have continued that feud through December with no problem.
Yep.
And done whatever types of matches you wanted to do. Sting beat him fair and square. You could have utilized Ric Flair as Ric Flair. He would have made Sting look like $1 million in these matches. I mean, look at the championship match that they had that Sting won. Look at the Clash where they had a match where he made Sting look like freaking a god. You could have went along with it, but they WWF'd it up with Black Scorpion bullcrap because of Jim Herd, and Then Ole's gone in between the time that Black Scorpion starts and now, and so now, and I think at this point Barry Windham's like maintenance booker before you know who comes back. It's just stupid when you had Sting and Flair already in a feud. Just continue the damn feud.
Exactly.
Like you
Schmoz
don't
it for
need
the second one, or let Sting win again. You could have played this out for 9 months more.
My point is, they didn't know. I think from what I remember, they didn't know
What you're
it
saying
was
is
Sting.
that they overbooked this in the sense of Rob Fuller saying we're doing too much work. We're doing more work than this job requires.
Well, yeah, and see, that's the thing. They didn't know that Flair was ultimately going to be the Black Scorpion when the Black Scorpion thing started. They kind
Really?
of just
no.
They didn't know.
Well, who
So
was going to be it?
I don't.
They didn't know.
Yeah.
So they just start this up without.
I
They
mean,
thought of a gimmick, but they didn't have the wrestler for it.
And what is the whole wrestling thing? So what happens next? And
Right.
they didn't have that answer.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
To be fair, I've heard Bischoff say he had no finish in mind for the NWO when he started it.
That's okay.
So I mean, like that happens actually. I mean, it happens in wrestling.
All right, so let's hit a Rolex.
So I'm giving B minus. Let me ask Harper, what are you giving it before I go to my Rolex, Harper?
I'm going to give it a B.
Okay, fair enough. Rolex. I think this is easy. Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, and Doom. I'm giving it to that match because them four big hosses got in there and tore each other a new one, and I thought it was great. I thought the finish was fine, even though it's essentially a no decision. Got no problem. Loved it.
100% no brainer.
Those four
guys did hard work. It was required for the job. They beat the shit out of each other. They also had some wrestling moves mixed in, and they really tried to pull things out of the ditch there between the tag team tournament and the end. And all four of those guys deserve the watch.
Honorable mention to Luger and Stan Hansen with the Rolex.
I would give you that, yeah.
Yeah, that's something I'm giving mine too.
And another light honorable mention to the Mexico-England match.
Okay, fair enough, because that was different and unexpected, and we were like, oh, look, here we got Chris Adams here. So fair enough. All right,
well, I'm going to log off now and go watch basketball. You guys bring it home.
We will do that. So before we get out of here, just a quick reminder, become a patron, support the show at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Great way to support us. Get tons of extra content. Over 300 plus Patreon shows are available, including the video versions of these that we generally pretty much watch along for the most part. We fast forward a little bit here and there while we're covering these shows. So become a patron, tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Support the show, get tons of extra content. It's very helpful. Definitely helps the show out.